So we had a day in the life of a dispatcher, and now we're diving into the day in the life of a marine pilot. So joining us this morning is senior pilot at the Port Authority of Jamaica and the president of the Marine Pilots Association, Cyprian Fuller. Welcome to
Cyprian, morning. How are you doing?
Morning, not too bad. Morning.
Earlier, when I asked the question about training, and I heard that we have 7 pilots in training, and I realized by just the way she said 7, it realized this is not a skill that a lot of people have. So even the fact that you have 7 in training sounds like a lot. How many of you are there presently?
We're 22 pilots currently.
22?
Yes.
Wow. And so, again, it's a specialist skill. Tell me a little bit about, that specialization and how long it takes for you to really get good at it to be a pilot.
Okay, well, a marine pilot is basically a skilled mariner that is, what you call this one now, trained and practiced in close quarter maneuvering and navigation. We bring vessels alongside safely to assign berths around the ports around the island. We basically are certified by the Port Authority to do so, and we go on board as in an advisory capacity to the masters during their transits of the ports.
So this is a location-specific post then, because, for example, you couldn't just get up there and say, move to a different country and become a... Right.
Right. So help me understand. As a marine pilot, as a Jamaican marine pilot, there are ships that are coming from abroad that don't know Kingston Harbor.
Correct.
Or that don't know Ocho Rios or Falmouth or Montego Bay.
That's correct.
It is your job when they get in certain proximity to go out to them.
That's right.
And then you pilot in.
That is correct, yes.
So...
Oh, so you don't stay like in an office and say, move to the left, 10 clicks to the right, nothing like that?
No, definitely not. No.
And so you know the space, and so you take the ship where it needs to go.
Pretty much. In putting it in layman's terms,
yes, please.
There's no way I could walk through your house in the middle of the night without hitting something over.
Yes.
But you could do it, right?
Yes.
Well, there you go.
So
That's where we come in.
So then, Cyprian, that means that you can pilot a cruise ship, what a name that bring in the containers again, cargo ships, all ships?
All of them. Yes.
When we use the word pilot, sometimes I don't think you are the equivalent of, like, in the airline industry, that big bird in the sky, like, you are piloting a massive vessel on the sea. Like, but where do you start?
Well, once you're accepted as a trainee pilot, you're then enrolled in the apprenticeship program. It takes about 3 to 5 years to complete. They go through classroom sessions, onboard ship movements with pilots to get hands-on training, and after which they go through rigorous examinations, oral and written, to certify themselves. And once they've passed, they get a competence, and then the Port Authority issues a license.
So, when you discover that you are interested in this thing, or maybe you went to CMU.
That's correct, yes.
And you now are deciding where to branch off, or sometimes I guess CMU causes the cream to rise to the top, and people will find their way in different areas. You find your way to being a pilot, and you've never piloted any marine vessel before, so now you start off with a small, like, how do you get the feel for it?
Well, once you are licensed as a pilot, because you go through the apprenticeship program, so we basically teach you how it's done. You learn where the navigational aids are, the dangers are, and you kind of understand ship handling and maneuvering.
Right.
So this is what we teach.
Right.
And once you are adept in it, as I said, you get your certificate of competence.
Right. Because it's one thing to learn. Follow me. It's one thing to learn about a little boat, and then it's another thing to learn. When you go out at Maiden Key and one of those vessels is taking you out.
Right.
That's another level.
Right.
And maybe someone's yacht is another level.
Well, there you go. We basically have tiers. So we have like a junior pilot and a senior pilot. So basically, when you just start, you have a limited tonnage of ship, or limited size of ship that you can handle. And then once you've had a certain amount of experience, then you can apply to become a senior pilot. And once you're approved, then your license is unlimited.
How long have you been doing this now?
I have been a pilot 23 years.
For 23 years. What type of person would you say this is suited more for? Because I'm all about people who are interested, but not sure.
Outgoing. In other words, you can't be one-track minded. You have to be very open, and you have to think outside the box. Because no two jobs are the same. At no point in time do I do the same thing twice. It never happens.
Because the wind conditions are different.
Everything
changes. The vessel is different. The
sea
weight is different.
That's correct.
The number of people on the ship at a particular time, or the.
That's correct. Yes.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
What is the most difficult type of ship it is to pilot? What's the easiest for you personally?
I would say the most difficult would be a tanker. I get petroleum tanker, loaded petroleum tanker.
Because you have all of that going.
Yes, correct. And it has a momentum that it keeps going. It takes a little while to stop. So it's a different kettle of fish.
Sign me out. No, not me. Better you than me.
You know when the truckers are driving on the highway and they have to know how to come off the highway because you have that force.
That is it.
But all of that is math that you have to be able to calculate and all that.
No, it comes with experience. After a while, you know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. It takes a little time, though. But it's comparison to a Leland truck as opposed to a car. So you know when you're in a car, you press your brakes and you slow down and you stop. You have to brake further up the road.
But in a truck, there are no waves pushing me on the road. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? There's no breeze that affects my Leland truck. So, you are on your own with that, for sure. But that's awesome.
Say it is now 20 minutes to 8 o'clock. You have a geography student in sixth form watching this conversation. They've applied to the University of the West Indies to go and study geography, for instance, or to the CMU. They're trying to decide, is this for me? Sell it to them as president of the association. You see the young people, you know the senior man, them, the young people who are just coming in. Sell it to them.
Well, I think the job gives you an opportunity to impact the country's development. As it is, what we do, we're entrusted with bringing these large vessels carrying goods that manufacturers, retailers, wholesalers, the economy is actually waiting on to bring to market. So I think the job itself plays a very important role in the development of the country. And if you want to be a part of that, it's a good way to start.
On that note, thank you so much for your service.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was Cyprian Fuller, Senior Pilot at the Port Authority of Jamaica. He is also President of the Marine Pilots Association. When we return, it's time for the Marine edition of Sunrise Freshers. Okay. We'll be right back.
Let's see how that goes.
I like it.